It is your girl Jay Ashley, and I am back for a new video of When the Beat Drops. And like always, you know, I'm here to give you my 5 hottest beats and music of this week, so you know you have to stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so let's dive into this week's beats. So my first beat of this week, I have to talk about the Grammy nominations for the 2016 Grammy Awards. I'm excited, of course, because the Grammy Awards is like the biggest of all music awards. You know, everyone from all walks of musical genres is honored this night. So, you know, like a lot of artists, well, I don't want to say every artist, but you know, when you're like an artist and you dream about this your whole life and all of this other stuff, you know, one of your main goals is to at least, you know, have the Grammy nominated or Grammy award winning title. So, you know, the Grammys is obviously a pretty big deal, and you know, the nominations was released this past Monday. So I usually, like, when I do like award shows and stuff like that, I kind of like, you know, read through like every person that's nominated and stuff, but y'all don't want to sit through that. That's going to take up y'all time, and I'm not trying to hold y'all like that. So I'm basically just gonna look over some of the categories and tell you some of the people that I am excited for and I cannot wait to see on this year's award show, or you know, just excited for them being nominated and all that other good stuff. So the very first person I want to talk about is Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar, he has one of the most nominations for a lot of people. He has, I think it was like a total of 11 nominations, and we all know that his sophomore album To Pimp a Butterfly was definitely highly anticipated, and it shows within the nominations. And I can just remember when, you know, he didn't even get nominated or even win anything when he did his first album, and here he is with his second album, and he won last year too as well. I think he won for like or something like that. I think he won like 2 Grammys or something. But, you know, this year he's nominated for 11. So that just goes to show that, you know, To Pimp a Butterfly is definitely for a fact. And even people, you know, it's the holiday season, are putting out like their favorite, you know, albums of the year and stuff. And Kendrick is definitely getting that #1 spot. So some of the categories that Kendrick Lamar is nominated for is Album of the Year, Best Rap Album, Song of the Year, Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance. Basically all of the rap, you know, categories he is nominated for. So I'm definitely excited for Kendrick. There is no way he is not going to walk away with at least, hopefully, like maybe 3 out of 4 or 4, I don't know. He's gonna walk away with a Grammy without a doubt. Like, there's no way he's not. The To Pimp a Butterfly was definitely one of the best albums of this year. So shout out to Kendrick. Another person that I'm excited for is Jazmine Sullivan. We all know that late last year she released her latest album, Reality Show, and this was her first album in like, I think like her 4-year hiatus or something like that. You know, we all kind of thought that she was, you know, fed up with the industry and stuff, but then when she started coming back out and she started promoting her, you know, latest album, she kind of revealed it was like relationship trouble that kind of like put her on this hiatus, and she came back. And I'm so glad that the Grammys, you know, realize, you know, this is like real R&B, because we know that she can sing, and her album was amazing. I remember, if you guys didn't see my album review, definitely check that out. Reality Show was so dope. So she's actually nominated for Best R&B Album, and then she also is nominated for Best Traditional R&B Performance for her song Let It Burn. So shout out to Jazmine Sullivan. Another person I'm excited for is Tyrese, because, you know, he went on this whole campaign when he was, you know, promoting his latest album Black Rose with the whole real R&B is dead and I'm trying to bring it back. So he is also in the running for Best Traditional R&B Performance for his song Shame, and I know I talked about that in last week's video when I talked about his performance at the Soul Train Awards. So shout out to Tyrese. I'm excited. Another person I'm excited for is my big sis Tay Tay. She has Best R&B Performance for her song If I Don't Have You, and I really feel like her latest album, Calling All Lovers, has been slept on. Like, that album is so dope. And, you know, this past week was a new season, a start of a new season of, you know, Tamar and Vince. So, you know, she has new Grammy nomination, start a new season of the show. Like, I'm excited for Tamar. If I Don't Have You is definitely one of my favorite songs off of her latest album. So I cannot wait to see. Another person I am so excited for Best New Artist, Tori Kelly. She is nominated, and she is definitely well deserving to be nominated for a Grammy for Best New Artist. Tori Kelly killed this year. She killed. For somebody that like went from YouTube doing like covers and stuff like this and just being just like this big mega star, and literally every award show it didn't even have to be an award show, it was whatever live performance she did, she let us know, look, I could sing. So I'm excited for Tori Kelly. Who else am I like definitely excited for? You know, Nicki Minaj, she has a couple of nominations. Jadena has some couple of nominations. Drake got some nominations. We all know Drake had a big year, and a lot of people was, you know, talking about how he got nominated for Back to Back, and Back to Back is actually a diss track to Meek. So, you know, Drake, he knew what he was doing when he made Back to Back. I remember when I was reading his article in the 100th issue of Fetty magazine, you know, he kind of talked about like his whole formula and his whole mindset when he was making Back to Back, and he wanted that track to be the track. Not only did he want it to be a diss track and, you know, come for me, but he wanted it to be a hit single, which it was. I talked about how it was on, you know, all of the radio stations. You know, you could not go nowhere without hearing it. But for it to be nominated for a Grammy, not to mention he's also being nominated for Best Rap Album for If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. And from my understanding, at first I thought it was an album when it released. First of all, he just dropped it. He pulled the Beyonce. But also when it released, I thought that was an album as well. But to my understanding, it was like a mixtape. So he, you know, got Grammy nominations off of mixtapes. Grammy nominations off of a diss song. Like Drake, he definitely without a doubt owned this year, and it's showing within the nominations. And you know, he still has an album to drop, because technically that was a mixtape. So there's a couple of people that I'm excited for. J. Cole, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, Best Rap Album. He also has Best Rap Song nominations and stuff like that. There's so many people that I'm excited for, and I feel like these are pretty good, pretty good nominations. So, you know, a lot of the times when the nominations come out, you know, we always have an issue with, what about this? What about that? Or shouldn't this be nominated? And it was a couple of people that, you know, said some things, you know, aka Omarion. He felt that his song Supposed to Be should have been nominated. And I'm not gonna sit here in front like Supposed to Be was not a big hit, you know, throughout this year, like, because it definitely wasn't. This was one of his first big hits in a very long time. So I mean, but you know, this is just more motivation for him to come harder come 2016 with new music. But other than that, you guys know that when a award show comes and all of this other stuff, I will update you. So moving on to my second beat of this week. I had told you guys about this last video, and of course I kept my promise. I told you that I was going to give my impressions on August Alsina's sophomore album, this thing called Life. It came out this week, and I was so excited for it. I told you guys that I had it pre-ordered. I told y'all August, he my best friend, so there was no way I was not going to like support him and not get his album. So I just kind of want to go through the songs on the album, tell you what I think about it, what's my favorite song, what I don't like, you know, what didn't stick, and all of that other good stuff. So the first track on this album is the title track, which is This Thing Called Life, and it's only 57 seconds. It's not even like a track. It's kind of like a just an intro. Obviously, if you guys had watched his album preview, he has it up on his YouTube channel. If you guys, you know, ever want to check it, just, you know, type it up and you'll see like the preview, and you'll get the visual of what this first track is, as far as like him laying in bed, and you know when you laying in bed and you have all of these thoughts that kind of run through your mind, and you think about things within life and stuff like that. So that's just that introduction. Now the second song I was so excited to hear when I saw the track listing, because of the features that he has with this song, and that song is the song Job, and that features Anthony Hamilton. Just let that sink in, let it simmer, Anthony Hamilton and Jadakiss. And I feel like those are, first of all, those are two artists that you wouldn't really think to hear on the same track, but you know, and then you have August on the track as well. So this is something that this whole track is like an unlikely type of collaboration, but I love it. So Job is basically just talking about working hard and stuff like that, obviously. You know, just kind of like working hard and doing what you have to do to like get by. And, you know, I love the chorus because, you know, Anthony Hamilton with his, you know, unique, distinctive voice, he brings the soul to it. Then, you know, Jada, he add his New York vibe to it with his verse. So I was definitely feeling that track for sure. And then the third song was Why I Do It, which was like the first single that he released off of this project, featuring Lil Wayne. I think I talked about it before. I have it on my blog, www.jade-ashley94.blogspot.com, if you didn't, you know, see it or hear about it. But that's definitely one of the up-tempo songs that I love, and, you know, I listen to it. Hollywood is basically him talking about, you know, one thing that I've always admired about August is that he obviously, when you listen to his music, you know he draws from like real life situations. So Hollywood, he kind of talks about how, you know, people consider him to be Hollywood or call him Hollywood and stuff like that, you know, now that he's at a different point. You know, his first album, he gave his testimony and he, you know, kind of introduced us to who he was and told us his story. Now his story has changed, you know, he's a whole different person, has a whole different career. So, you know, things are a little bit different. So he's kind of, you know, telling us his life from a perspective as this celebrity, as this, you know, famous singer and stuff like that, and talking about how those from his life back then are like kind of considering like Hollywood now. You know, now that he's, you know, following his dreams, providing for his family like in a completely different way. Then he has his song Hip Hop, which basically kind of talks about like what goes on in this world. We live in a crazy world. There's so much. He kind of connects it to like hip hop history. That was the second single that he released. There's a video for that as well, and I had that on my blog, so definitely check it. I told y'all I love August, so I got all the damn videos from this album on my blog. But Hip Hop, like I said, just talks about everything that's going on in this world. You know, we live in a crazy world. He connects it to like hip hop history and stuff like that. Dope beat. I loved it when it came out, so yes. Another one is the sixth track is Change, and obviously Change is about, you know, just I don't think August gets enough, you know, recognition for the positivity that he does put within his music. And Change, obviously, he talks about wanting to be that change because the people around him or the people that you know, they're just, you know, stuck on that same old thing and they don't want to be that change. So he wants to be that change. And, you know, I mean, if that's not positive, I don't know what is. And I'm not just saying that because we're best friends. But other than that, the seventh song, which is my favorite song so far. Well, I have a couple of favorite songs, but this is my number one favorite song, which is his song Dreamer. And obviously, this is about chasing dreams. And, you know, he kind of tells a story about people not really being motivated and not really following their dreams and stuff like that, and saying you're not really a dreamer and stuff. So I really love Dreamer. Like, I'm still in the process of learning it, but give me like another week and I'll definitely be singing it for sure, because I've literally been listening to this album non-stop since it touched my iTunes at 12 on December 11th, which was a Friday. So yes, other than that, he has his track called Been Around the World, which features Chris Brown, and I feel like Chris is a good person to kind of like, you know, collab with on this type of song, because basically they're just talking about like the crazy lifestyle that they live on the road, the different type of girls that they've seen, you know, the places, you know, the kind of lifestyle you would expect, you know, R&B heartthrobs like themselves to like experience, like out on tour, just traveling, press runs and stuff like that. And obviously that kind of ties into, what is it, I think it was like Diddy's song 1997, I've been around the world, yeah. And there's another track, I think it's like an old school track that was sampled. So you know history repeats itself, music repeats itself, and you know it's always recycled for the next generation. Other than that, he has a song called First Time, and thank you for letting me be your first time. That's what that's about. He has his song Would You Know, that hasn't really kind of stuck to me as of yet, but you know, that's just one so far. Then he has a song Cry. Again, that track is on my blog if you want to check it out in its entirety. And that song is basically about letting you know it's okay to cry. Like, there's so much buildup that happens, there's so much that goes on in life, and song Cry, like, it's okay to cry. every rose needs a rain sometime. You know, that's like one of the lyrics from the song. So, you know, he talks about that. You know, he brings his brother into the situation, and that kind of leads to his other song, The Other Side, which is about his brother, obviously, about I can't wait to get to the other side. I hope you could kick it the way we used to, because we all know how important his brother was to him and how his brother's death kind of like affected him. And he talked about that a lot in his music, on his mixtape, on his first album and stuff. So like, I feel like, I don't know August personally, but I feel like I know August personally because of the stories that he tells within his music. Obviously, this thing called life. He gives you, you know, things that people go through in life, and he's using the things that he goes through in his life to obviously come through within his music. And then he has his 13th song, which is American Dream, something that hasn't really stuck to me as of yet. And he has the 14th song, which is Look How Far I've Come, and then the last song, which is The Encore. So far for me, it's right now this Saturday. So, you know, it's been like 2 days since the album's come out. So I'm pretty, you know, I'm getting up to it and stuff like that. I'm, you know, enjoying the album for the most part. It's like, what, 3 or 4 songs that haven't stuck to me as of yet. But give me like another good week or two, and I will probably be rocking with the whole album. So I would say, not only because we're best friends, but because I feel like that there's a good message within this music, I would recommend getting August Alsina's album, This Thing Called Life. It will definitely, you know, I feel like it's just a good purchase. Like, I feel like it's positive music. You get a real perspective of, you know, somebody else's story, and that kind of makes you dwell on what you may be going on through in life and stuff, and it lets you know, I'm not the only one that experiences this, or I'm not the only one that feels like that. So shout outs to August for his sophomore album, This Thing Called Life. I'm praying that the numbers do awesome, because actually it was this whole thing the day before the album came out with the album being leaked and whatnot, and he was going off at Def Jam and yada 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 yada. But still, he was number 2 on iTunes. Within a couple of albums, he was sitting right under Adele. So shout outs to August. I love the album, and I definitely recommend it for you guys. So after that, we will be moving on to our third beat of this week, and this is kind of like a pickup of a beat that happened like mad months ago. So if you guys can remember, I don't even know what video, and I should have looked it up, but I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna edit it, and I'll put the number of when a beat drops video and let you know what this topic was. And the topic that I'm actually referring to is the Blurred Lines case with Robin Thicke, Pharrell Williams, and the family of the late Marvin Gaye. So if you guys can remember, his family, Marvin Gaye's family, sued Robin Thicke and Pharrell for sampling Marvin Gaye's 1977 track of Got to Give It Up. And long story short, they won. They were entitled to millions of dollars, and then they were also supposed to be giving half of the royalties for whatever amount of money that, you know, single was to make post the court date. And when I talked about it originally, I talked about like what was happening, how much they owed, and then I told y'all how I thought Marvin Gaye's daughter was just too fucking dramatic after the court case, or whatever the case may be. But I'm bringing the case back up because recently Robin Thicke and Pharrell, they filed for an appeal on the court's decision. And I was reading something. I was reading something where, you know, the judge it was like an unruly type of rule or something like that. I don't know court terms and stuff. I took like one law class for my major, and that was the hardest class ever to pass. I'm just gonna say that. But you know, it's like a copyright type of law where it's like after a certain amount of years you can't sample an artist's song, or something to that effect with the whole copyright infringement type of thing. But I know it was something where, to us, when we listen to Got to Give It Up and we listen to Blurred Lines, they sound the same. That's a given. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and beat around the bush and say, oh my gosh, the songs don't even sound the same. They sound the same. But it's something to where the chords, like if you like know music notes and stuff like that, it's something to where the chords, and I'm assuming that the chords are actually not the same of Got to Give It Up or something like that, because I actually saw Robin Thicke and Pharrell's deposition videos that came out in I think like October or something like that, a few months ago, or like maybe like 2 months ago or something like that. The footage for their deposition videos had released. and they was like, I'm not with the shits. Pharrell definitely wasn't with the shits, and it was like, can you tell us about this chord or tell us about that note? And Pharrell was like, I'm not here to teach you music. And I was like, ooh. Pharrell was not with it. So long story short, I guess something got overlooked or something wasn't, you know, thought about properly. It was something. But Pharrell and Robin Thicke are not with the shits, and they called for an appeal. So I guess this whole blurred lines, got to give it up, Marvin Gaye family thing will be heading back to court soon. So I guess I will keep you guys updated with that, because obviously it ain't over yet. But we're going to keep it moving, and we're going to go on to my next beat of this week. And I want to talk about Chris Brown. So as we all know, that his album Royalty comes out within a week. You know, we have like this whole week. It comes out Friday, December 18th. And I would say I'm excited for it. I think anybody's excited for a new Chris Brown album. So in celebration of the album, Chris Brown will be going on the Royalty Live concert series. And that will obviously start this week leading up until the album's release on Friday the 18th. And basically, he's going to 3 different cities. And he is doing live performances where he, you know, performing his classic hits. And I would assume he will be performing new tracks from Royalty. So the first city that he will be hitting is Chicago on December 13th at the Aragon Ballroom. The second date is December 16th, which will be in San Francisco at the Masonic in San Francisco, December 16th. And then the last one will be on December 18th, which is album release day in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Palladium, or I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So Chris is not coming to New York. Of course he's not coming to New York, but I mean, he just left New York like not too long ago. I think like last week or the week before that, when he was doing promo runs, and he was here on like Jimmy Kimmel or Fallon or whoever, one of those late night talk show hosts is, and he was, you know, he was here. But yeah, so if anybody who's watching this video and you see this in time and you're either in Chicago, San Francisco, or just in Los Angeles in general, Chris Brown is coming and he's doing a live concert series. And he's been doing like a lot of, not charity work, but you know, he's been, you know, donating a lot for like charity purposes. So $1 from every ticket sold up until Christmas will be donated to the Miracles Network Hospital and Best Buddies. And also, if you pre-order the album, $1 from every album up until Christmas will be donated as well. So he's like donating money from album sales as well as ticket sales to both the Miracles Network Hospital and Best Buddies. So shout outs to Chris Brown. You know, he's doing his thing. You know, I'm excited for the album. I love this Chris Brown. Not that I didn't like Chris Brown before, but we all know he had his little moment of spiraling out. But you know, I like this Chris Brown, like Royalty's dad and stuff like that. And I'm excited for the album. Of course, I'll be getting it, so you guys can look forward to hearing me talk about it. So we will move on to my last beat of this week, and I wanted to save the ratchet for the last. So the ratchet news of this week that kind of took me by shocker, honestly, was when Maskia from the first season of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood announced that she is pregnant with Fetty Wap's child. And literally, I walked out of class. This is the last day of classes this Friday. I literally walked out of class, hopped on my phone, hopped on social media, and see that Maskia, she went to Power 106 in LA. You know, I'm not too familiar with every radio station outside of New York. So she went to Power 106 in LA. I guess she was doing an interview. They had a video, and she made this announcement that I am that's how much I thought this was some bullshit. But she made this announcement that she was 6 months pregnant, and they was like, oh, who's the daddy? And she was like, Fetty. And I was like, now, as far as I know with their whole relationship thing, I know that they did a song. He featured on one of her songs, and there was rumors of them messing around and stuff like that, but then he and she denied it. But then it was videos of them where they weren't even fully dressed with one another and stuff like that. And you know, I don't really know too much about Fetty Wap's like relationship thing, and I don't think I really care that much either. So I know that when he kind of started rising and we started knowing him as Fetty Wap, I know he had a son already. I know not too long ago, like sometime this year, he had a daughter, and then there was another girl that was claiming that she was pregnant by him, but I don't know her, and you know, these hoes be out here lying. And then now Maskia, so it's a possibility. He is already established she got 2 baby mothers. So Maskia, she's saying, or she could be like the 3rd or 4th baby mother. Not to mention that he already had a baby this year. And then he's dating another girl, Alexis Sky. I guess she's like some type of model or something like that. So he got a lot going on. And Fetty, obviously, he was not here for Maskia's announcement of her being 6 months pregnant. And she actually posted a photo to her Instagram of her belly. And she had like this sweet little message about being happy to be a mom and stuff like that. And in the photo, she tagged Fetty Wap on her stomach. So, this is interesting. I bet you this be that shit that get her back on Love and Hip Hop. I tell you that much. She not messing with Berg no more, and she claiming that she's pregnant by Fetty Wap. How much y'all want to bet that 3rd season of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood? If y'all see Maskia, y'all know why. Because apparently now she got pregnant by a rapper and all of that other stuff. Look, I don't know. Congrats, guys. I guess that would be the proper thing to do. So congratulations to you guys on your bundle of joy. Shout outs to y'all, I guess. So, but other than that, those are my 5 hot beats of this week. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for tuning into this week's video, and of course you know I have to remind you guys to comment, like, subscribe, and share. It will greatly be appreciated. And I just want to remind you guys that this upcoming Friday, December 18th, Monica, her new album Cold Red will be coming out, and I'm excited for that. And I'm actually going to see her in concert tomorrow night at her last show here in New York City, so I'm definitely excited. I might share my experience with that come next week's video. And also, of course, I talked about it in one of my beats. I have to remind you guys that Chris Brown's latest album, Royalty, will also be out on the same day, so definitely make sure you pick those up, because that's what I will be doing. And I have to leave you guys with my song of the week, and I think I want my song of the week to go to August for his song Dreamer off of his latest album, This Thing Called Life. When I literally tell you guys that that's definitely my #1 favorite song from that album. So I'll be sure to link it for you guys so you can check it out in its entirety. And once again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. So bye. Hey guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to share and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.